Saturday, December
This is
20th,
Dick
and you
with
are
the
watching
news and weather.
You Don't Watch
Let me
Sports.
tell you, I'm happy
Right
to
here on
say
the
there's
Feo Grande
nothing but
YouTube
blue
Network, I am
skies
Bill
coming
Smith,
your
and I am
way.
joined as always by the man, the myth, the legend, Feo Grande himself, Omari Ellis. So, Mari, how was your sports week?
It was mixed bag. It started off kind of disappointing as the Panthers got humiliated by the Saints, but we've had some other developments throughout the week where we can at least talk about it and still be positive about things. Hell, Jake Paul got knocked out last night. That's funny.
Bop,
That's a
bop.
good thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we're going to sprinkle it all here on You Don't Watch Sports just to cover three topics. Sprinkle in that little bit of sports information into your casual conversation as we are, your guiding light through the sea that is sports talk. And we are going to cover the entire year today because we are taking a week off for the holidays next week and we will see you again in 2026. So we're going to still cover three topics here. Topic number one, the NFL. Omari, what's going on?
All right, NFL. So 127 to 76, on the picks. So I'm pretty positive I'm going to end the season with a positive win-loss ratio on picks. But last week we had some upsets, like I mentioned, the Saints winning, some other teams that the Vikings, despite winning their game last week against the Cowboys, still are one of the four teams eliminated last week. The Vikings are out. The Bengals they were holding on to hopes that 8 and 9 could win the division, but now that won't matter. They lost to a division rival. The Dolphins are also out, and the Kansas City Chiefs have been eliminated from the playoffs. So the dynasty takes a hit. We'll see if they bounce back, next season, like dynasties are wont to do.
Going to be tough
However,
for
it's
them.
going to be tough because on the second to last play or last drive of the game, Patrick Mahomes went down with an ACL injury, and there's rumors that another one of his CLs also had to be repaired in said injury. So, shout outs to Patrick Mahomes, hoping speedy recovery with that. But in the ACL department, it things just keep spreading around the NFL because the Green Bay Packers not only lost their game on Sunday, they lost Micah Parsons, the guy they traded to the Cowboys or traded from the Cowboys earlier this year in a blockbuster trade. Also taken out. He'd been making a big impact, but now with the Bears winning their game against the Browns, the Bears are back on top of the AFC NFC North, and it's the Packers who have dropped down to a wild card thing with a rematch coming up this weekend. But also, Old Man Rivers had a game, did real well, but lost it due to eight field goals. Or no, not eight, six field goals. They lost 18, like the other team had 18 points, just field goals, despite Philip Rivers' performance. But yeah. Anyway, the playoff grid is starting to pretty much be set up. I've got them over here. In the AFC, the Broncos are the only team that is 100% clinched their spot, but they are at the one seed at the moment. The Patriots are also pretty much guaranteed alongside the Jaguars. The Steelers, however, still could have anything happen in that division that they share with the Ravens based on the way the games play out. I do think they have matchups against one another. As far as the wild card at the moment, it is looking like Chargers, Bills, Texans, and maybe even the Colts. Pretty much, the Colts are on the outside. Have a very slight chance of getting in. Things have to fall their way due to injuries. But that's the AFC picture. NFC, the Rams have clinched their division. The Bears trading back and forth with the Packers. You know how that goes. Who comes out of that division? However, the Eagles more or less have locked up the NFC West. Oh no, sorry, NFC East, and the Buccaneers have more or less locked up the NFC South. The wild card teams at the moment are Seahawks, 49ers, and Packers, but the Lions, Panthers, and on the less than 1% chance Cowboys are on the edge trying to get into that playoff picture. But things are shaping up the way they are this season. And yeah, I guess we'll do some picks just to go through quick. I got Eagles over Commanders. I got Bears over Packers in the run back because now we're in Soldier Field.
And they
Um,
have no Micah Parsons.
and they have no Micah Parsons, but the first time I did it was just because it was at Lambeau and the history is
Hmm.
favorable there. I got Chargers over Cowboys, Vikings over the Giants, Bengals over the Dolphins, Bucks over Panthers, Jets over Saints. Oh, sorry, Saints over Jets, Bills over Browns, Chiefs over Titans, Jags over. I think the Jags upset the Broncos just because one team's fully clinched, the other one still really trying.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
Falcons and Cardinals in a who cares game. I got the Cardinals. Texans over Raiders. Lions over the Steelers. I got the Patriots over the Ravens. I got the Colts over the Niners. And on Christmas Day this week, I've got Cowboys over Commanders, Lions over Vikings, and Broncos over the Chiefs. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's the
Okay.
NFL, the professional league.
So my question for you, Omari, my
Yeah,
thought that developed while you were chatting there. Obviously you got the whole Patrick Mahomes part of the Patrick Mahomes news, which is
yeah,
the main part of the news, obviously. But then secondarily, I wanted to ask you. Well, I mean, more than likely, this means that Patrick Mahomes is out for the next season. How deep this happened into this year.
yeah.
Usually ACL, MCLs are about a calendar year.
Roughly, yeah.
Um, so
That's
so that's like maybe he comes back mid-season next year, but you're probably assuming at this point next year is off the books for Patrick Mahomes. His tight end, Travis Kelce, has now reached the same amount of service years as his brother, Jason Kelce. There, maybe for the last two seasons, when they've been going deep in the Super Bowl, the conversation has come up of, especially now with his high profile partner, the question has come up, is this the time that Travis Kelce hangs up his boots? If you're not going to have your quarterback next year, if you're getting married early summer, if this was maybe the worst season of your professional career, individually and team, do you think Travis Kelce retires?
ah, given all those factors, it is highly likely. I thought he was younger than he is, I guess, but he really doesn't need to keep playing football. I guess it's just a matter of the love of the game. At the same time, that love may be lost for the reasons you mentioned. You don't have your quarterback you were going out there having fun with every week. You aren't performing up to your usual standard.
He might
And
he might see it as a challenge of like, no, now like this is going to be the year where he gets to be the leader of the team. I mean,
mhm.
everybody's going to look at him
Yeah,
with Patrick being
or
down.
try to go out looking strong instead of go out looking weak. Like you want to have a strong season to end on.
Right, but then you're going to risk being the Undertaker.
Yeah, exactly. And he really doesn't need to do that. Like, nor do I think he's that kind of competitor to where I can't have them have me go out, on some Roman Reigns shit. I gotta go out in a graveyard match or something. But
Hmm.
to go with your Undertaker thing, I think he does retire because you bring up a lot of good points. I think there's a higher chance of him retiring than staying, so I'm gonna go retire.
It feels like all the dominoes are adding up. And it's not like the man is just going to be an NFL player when he lays down his head for the final time. It's not like he is just going to be an NFL player. That might be the largest footnote in his log, but he clearly has himself set up for a myriad of things in his post sports life.
Mhm.
I don't know if that kind of person is necessarily like, no, I gotta be great in my final, like I gotta go out on top in my final
Exactly.
year. Because I mean, he's marrying a billionaire, and he's
He's got nothing to
gonna
prove.
be jet setting the globe for the rest of his life. He could literally do nothing, or I think he's already been hosting like game shows and stuff on TV and starting to dip his toe that route. That's kind of how John Cena started,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden he's in big action movies. Uh, so, well, started after he stopped the first time.
Yes.
If you delete the WWE film catalog
Throw
in
with
the
the
in the
Marine.
beginning, when he came back, he was just doing little tiny TV things and hosting gigs, and
Yeah.
then suddenly he gets a cameo in Trainwreck, and then it's off to the races. That we could easily see that being a Travis Kelce life. I feel like we're gonna hear that announcement not too far away because he's probably also gonna want to not hurt his team.
Yeah. He
Just
and
just like
his
his brother did, announcing it pretty quickly after the Super Bowl. I wouldn't be shocked if that's the route we see happen.
and him and his brother seem close enough to where like yeah, you could say they could be competitive enough to where like I played one more season type shit. But in light of everything else, I think they are also close enough to be like, you know what, we played the same number of seasons, you know, hermano hermano and
Yeah.
shit.
And it's 13 years. So it's not like it's
Yeah.
not like they like barely were there. Like they both put in 13 years in what is usually an average of I think three and a quarter for an NFL career. I remember hearing that stat a long time ago. I don't know if that is
Huh.
still the thing.
I can
Um
see that, especially in this day and age where you're not allowed to have like bad rookie seasons
right.
because of social media.
Yeah, because I mean for every 10-year long quarterback career, you have a dozen running backs who lasted a season and a half.
Mhm.
So,
Bruh.
um, let's go. Yeah, let's move on to topic number two, Omari. The college football playoff bracket. We don't really talk college football much, but once we get into some playoffs, once we get a bracket in front of us,
You
we
know,
love doing some stupid ass picks. Um,
you ain't wrong. And yeah, so
take us through this.
We are down to the college football playoff bracket. Started this weekend. Technically started yesterday. So we had a game already go through. But our teams left appear to be James Madison, Oregon Ducks, Texas Tech, Alabama, Oklahoma was there, but they lost to Alabama, so they're already out. Indiana was the one seed with a bye. Tulane, Ole Miss, Georgia, Bulldogs also had a bye as the third seed. As did Texas Tech at the top. So the top four have
Right.
buys. Okay. Miami, the U, playing Texas A&M as we speak, and as they call themselves, Ohio State University, is waiting for the winner of that game. So, with Alabama having already advanced to the second round to fight Indiana, I have the bracket up for you here.
Yep.
Texas Tech is waiting on their opponent, as are Georgia and Ohio. But who we got? Or who you thinking?
So my completely stupid know nothing picks.
I'm right there with
Um,
you, by the way.
I'm gonna give you my top seed pick and my underdog pick.
All
My
right.
top seed pick, I've been hearing just in chatter in the ether this college football season. I've heard a lot about the Georgia Bulldogs. Woo! Um, so I'm gonna put my stake in the Georgia Bulldogs, and then my underdog. I have always liked the vibe. I liked the 30 for 30 doc on the craziness, the super charisma, the outlaw attitude that can be the U.
All right.
So I'm gonna go with Miami as my underdog in the tournament.
Okay. I like those picks. I'm going to be different just because why not? Um,
Unfortunately, they're in the same section of the bracket, so I'm going to spoil
Georgia.
myself one way or the other pretty quickly.
Hey, true. Um, I guess I'm surprised Alabama's still around now that Saban's gone, so I don't really have a lot of like faith in them. I'm gonna go for the Ducks. I've always liked the Ducks because they got the thing with the fucking duck doing the push-ups after the
hmm
touchdowns and shit. They got like an identity to them. Yay, Oregon. Uh,
Yeah,
I
ever
guess.
since who was it? Chip Kelly?
Yeah,
Was it the Chip Kelly offense that kind of revolutionized that era of college football?
I
Ever
believe
since
so.
then, I've always heard the Ducks and Oregon in the conversation.
Hmm. Yeah. I don't have a lot of faith in them, but I'm trying to just pick something. I say Ducks, and if I want another team, screw it. I'm gonna say Ole Miss. I'm pretty sure one of my sisters went there briefly in her grad school. Ole Miss.
All
Give
right,
me Oregon and Ole
a
Miss.
five and a six seed. So you're right there in the middle of
Yeah,
the
right in the
pack.
middle. That yeah, and seating wise, it is what it is. I just was just
I mean,
like,
the
hey,
seeding is a lot of subjectivity, right? In this, because
yeah, oh yeah.
it's all different schedule. It's all
When you
different,
make your own schedules,
right?
you could be undefeated and not even make the playoffs.
Yeah, like that was going to be my next question is how many of these top four teams were undefeated, and what is the criteria on who gets
I
seeded
know
one,
they
two, three,
heavily
four?
weigh favorably in terms of SEC.
Just
I mean,
because
a
it's
loss to
assumed to be a much stronger conference.
a loss in the SEC. I mean, but you lost to an SEC team. Is it really that bad a loss? But this other team's undefeated. But did they play the SEC teams? They said no when they tried to ask.
All right, Amari. So as you said, we have that game between Tulane and or no, between Miami and Texas A&M happening right now as we speak. And then
Yes.
on later today, we have James Madison versus Oregon and Tulane versus Ole Miss. And then we're gonna wait after the holidays, and we'll have on New Year's Day our our quarterfinal matchups as well as New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. We're going to have our quarterfinals matchups. And then it looks like June 8th and 9th, semifinals,
January.
January, and then culminating January 19th for the championship. So we'll be back here able to chat about semifinals and our championship match coming up here soon.
I'm just imagining them like, all right, new year, we got our final four teams. See you in June. You got 6 months. Get ready.
All right, Omar, for topic number three, as I said in the opening, this is our last You Don't Watch Sports of 2025. And so I wanted to go through and just we're gonna rack our mind palace and try and pull out the best and worst moments in sports in 2025. Um, the first thing I could think of happened early this year, and it was the John Cena heel turn. The
That's
victory at Elimination Chamber, a really cool finish at the end of Elimination Chamber there, and then the victory celebration with Cody Rhodes, The Rock, Travis Scott, the throat slice, yeah, the weirdest 3, 2, 1 countdown in existence, a throat slice, the face change, the Travis
good
Scott
point. Good point.
potato right up beside
Oh
Cody
my
Rhodes'
God.
face. Um, a great moment in wrestling that we talked about for at least a week, maybe even a couple of weeks there.
Oh yeah. It was a great moment. Everything about the moment was great, which the throat slice just reminded me of another thing I had with after like what was even the point? Clearly you were setting yourself up to be part of this big storyline. All this BS of it's the Rock and Cody story. Oh, sorry, it's Cena and Cody's story. They don't need me at that point, and let them tell the story they want to tell. Why? Don't do
We set up
don't
no,
continue.
we set up this journey for them. It's like I cleared the road. I paved the road ready, and then it's their job to just take us on this journey. Like no, you set it up. You set it up that you were like don't
Oh.
call us assholes for expecting you at WrestleMania. But that'll take us directly into one of my worst of the year, Omari, the WrestleMania Night 2 main event when that fucking Travis Scott song hit, and then we were like, all right, and now 5 seconds later, do you
Do you
smell?
smell?
And no, Travis Scott just kept very
Fiend,
slowly
fiend,
walking
fiend, fiend,
to
fiend,
the
fiend,
ring to
fiend,
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 fiend, fiend,
fiend.
fiend, fiend. I hate that song.
And it's not just Travis Scott's fault. By design, Cody Rhodes and John Cena decided to have a very slow, very methodical, very boring match because that's how John Cena thought that his heel version of him should wrestle. And then immediately the next day, as John Cena has revealed in interviews, the company texted him and was like, "Hey, so let's not do that anymore." Let's go back to you wrestling as John Cena, kind of, and you're just a bad guy. Um, so it's not just Travis Scott's fault. It's not just The Rock's fault. Cody and John Cena have some implication here. I
Yes.
get the idea of telling the story of this is part one of a two-parter. I'm a bad guy here. I'm going to be a good guy in part two. This is my first match as being a bad guy. They're going to want to cheer me anyway. I got to do everything I possibly can to get them to boo me. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. They wanted to cheer you. So it ended up being a very awkward, weird match where you were doing boring heel shit and the crowd in Vegas was cheering you and booing Cody, who was trying to be a babyface coming up from underneath. It was ugly and rough, and the Travis Scott stuff on top of it was just shit icing on a poo cake.
That's one of the things that'll always remain about John Cena. No matter what he's trying, like he clearly has a connection with the audience one way or the other. He's mentioned, whether you like it or hate it, you're talking about it. But the fact that he can never get the crowd to react the way he wants to, but is still the biggest fucking like star. Like they could never 100% get the crowd to be like, yay, John Cena, when they wanted him to be. And they could not get the crowd to boo. And they're like, okay, they got to the point to where they're remixing his song going, John Cena sucks. Fine, cool. A heel turn should be easy. Nah, dog. We want a cheer now. Wait, what? No. You've been begging for this for years. You guys even complained at the moment. No. We want to cheer John Cena. Screw you. You can't tell us what to say about John Cena.
Yeah, I mean, Cody already has a hard time in the WrestleMania crowd, in the like the rich casuals crowd of that has become WrestleMania. Um, and then yeah, it was not good, dog. It was not good. What about you, Omari? What's one of your best of the year?
One of the biggest moments of the year. So there's best, which you mentioned that you have a couple on your list that I agree with as far as best. But one of the biggest moments of the year that surprised everybody, had everybody talking about, was this Dallas Maverick situation with Nico Harrison and the Luka Doncic trade at 3 in the morning or whatever it was for Anthony Davis. No one really saw that coming. And I'll combine it with how big the story kept going. It went into the NBA draft where everyone was sure that, hey, they just got rewarded for doing this trade by getting the number one pick at like 1% chances. We were talking about it off screen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Crazy stuff throughout the year. The Lakers have been on benefiting from it pretty much immediately. The Mavericks pretty much regretting it immediately. Immediately, Anthony Davis gets injured. Immediately comes back this season. They're not playing well. So the fact of where, hey, we see you got us that number one overall pick with the trade. Yeah, no, you're fired, Nico Harrison.
Yeah.
Get out of here. But that's a big.
Luca immediately signs a long-term extension. Comes back in the offseason in like one of the better shapes of his life after these kind of BS rumors of they traded him because he was fat stuff. Uh,
Defense wins championships.
yeah, it's yeah that and yeah, you know it's weird to call it the best like you said, but it is one of the biggest, and it
Yeah.
was I think that was multiple weeks of this show was us using that as a topic.
Yeah. So and to go into to kind of wrap it up with one of my worst things about the keeping it NBA, just the various scandals that have gone on with the NBA. From Kawhi Leonard being like, "Hey, I've secretly been being paid under the table by fake endorsements for the past years," which, oh no, the millionaire is making more millions. Who really gives a It's kind of crazy that you're still doing underhanded stuff off the book because what else are they doing off the book? Oh, turn the page. Gambling scandals in a league that heavily is promoting gambling. Now you have people getting wrapped up in gambling scandals, and for what seemed like it wasn't even connected to games, but that opened up the door because now we got other people like, oh yeah, you know the guy that got weirdly suspended for something last week, or like weirdly got injured when he could have gotten suspended. Yeah, it turns out that was the NBA shadow suspending him because he got wrapped up in a gambling thing. Oh, so not a good look for the NBA in that regard, but at least the games and stuff are going crazy, like with all this Shea, Gilgeous-Alexander, Thunder stuff we've been talking about.
Right.
So the quality of gameplay has been good, but boy, not a good look to have those kind of scandals going on. Um, yeah.
One of my best of the year was the World Series this year, which was just
My
insane. It
God,
was
that
just
game seven.
the game seven was unreal. You had the Shohei Ohtani game earlier in that postseason. You had Yoshinobu Yamamoto's performance. Um, it was just
Oh,
an incredible postseason.
oh,
Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s performances throughout the postseason.
the fucking slide tag, the foot off the bag, like that, followed by the like tackle in the outfield. Everything just being literal game changing moments slash errors that was the game seven.
Yeah,
Like I would have put that, like I said, that's probably
the final
that I
game
would
of the
share as a
year.
best
And
of
it's
a
maybe
thing.
the best game of the most exciting game of baseball that had been played all season.
Yeah.
It was incredible. And To stick in baseball, I wanna do a worst for me is this season was just really the cementing of of the confirming of that we are out of a St. Louis Cardinals era that I grew up in. We were very good for so long, and very rarely we were as bad as good. And now we are just bad. And all of the stars that I knew and loved growing up attached to the Cardinals are far separated and gone from the team. The transitional stars that came along in that era, Paul Goldschmidt has not been a Cardinal. Nolan Arenado spent the entire year debating on whether or not he was going to be a Cardinal or not. We are still currently in a world where we're debating on whether or not they are going to trade Nolan Arenado. Um, it is not a fun time to be a St. Louis Cardinals fan. There's a couple of young folks who are enjoyable to watch play, but it is unfortunately limited to that. And and when they start being good again, it will be an entirely new team, an entirely new thing. The thing of the St. Louis Cardinals that I think of and that I know and I love from like age 12 to age 35, almost 33, is gone.
Yeah, that is sad. That is sad to think about. But I'm gonna stay optimistic. We got him next year. Let's go. But no, it is kind of crazy to think about all the players because I can't really name you hardly anybody because I'm not in the city and I've stated on the show baseball is not a sport I follow as close as I should. But yeah, to think of like the fact that all the players that I've known over the years to be like, oh yeah, that's one of ours. That's a card. Oh, that's why we stayed relevant. Yeah, not not around no more.
Mm-mm.
Um,
What
so
was one of
that's
your best
sad.
of the year, Omari?
Another one of the big moments of the year or best moments of the year, the Super Bowl was a really good game. The dynasty, we first started seeing cracks in the dynasty. Now, I don't hate teams just because they're good, and I actually kind of like Kansas City, but I also like when things stay interesting and it's not the, I like stories where it's not the same team winning every year or
Hmm.
anything, regardless, even if I actually like them. It's like, what if it was your team? You want to say that? Yes and no. At least this is still interesting. So the Eagles winning the Super Bowl, upsetting the Chiefs. Everybody pretty much was talking they shit against Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. Like, yeah, this is cool, but it's just flash in the pan. Mahomes and them boys is unstoppable. The Chiefs is gonna win, and Kelsey's gonna propose to Taylor on the sideline as they go off into the sunset. All that stuff. I'm pretty sure I was one of those people, talking about it. We talk about it on the show. The Chiefs' particular brand of mistake-free, highly disciplined football did not show up at the Super Bowl. It was crazy. Big moment of the year, big upset in that regard. Keeping it with the worst and stuff. My worst thing about the year, probably in all of sports,
It was the first thing. It was one
is
of the first things you had typed out.
is the fact, speaking of dynasties, the 11-2 Patriots are a thing again. So we're ready to enter another 20-year stretch of not enjoying NFL football. It's gonna be crazy. So that I don't like. Shout outs to Drake May. That's apparently his nickname. He's doing one of those. Um, you know, congratulations, Boston. Continue never having any downtime and being like real sports fans. You're only fans because you're from the place, but you're not real sports fans. Okay. Real sports fans have to deal with the teams being bad for years and chanting for them anyway.
I saw something funny the other day, which I wouldn't be shocked if you had already seen at some point. But when Tom Brady first retired from the Patriots, they did a very nice post on like Twitter
Mm-hmm.
about him, like RQB, it's been one heck of a ride. Thank you for everything. Um, and then they kept just retweeting that same tweet each time he would subsequently retire. And so it ended up being stacked, I think, four times. That one tweet, like it was two Patriots and then two when he did it to the Tampa Bay, and each time the official New England Patriots account would just be like, once again, dot dot dot, and then just retweet the one from 2 years ago. um, my one of my best of the year is going to be the Tyrese Halliburton postseason. As a casual NBA fan who really only checks in at the postseason and like All-Star break timings, um, it was really cool to kind of declare to just kind of get in the Indiana camp. And also Tyrese is a really big vocal wrestling fan. As we all know, we're big wrestling fans here. That's just all anytime that's a connection point, it's an easy thing for me to start getting giving you some support. And then early on in the playoffs, he had that game in Madison Square Garden that just absolutely just destroyed the Knicks. I remember he did the Reggie Miller choke emote. Um,
And these
uh,
Pacers too, so that made it even better.
and then just taking it all the way to game 7 of the NBA Finals. I don't think there was I don't know there wasn't a whole lot of analysts who were picking the Pacers at the start of that postseason, and for them to get all the way there. But then it goes hand in hand, two faces of the same coin. One of my worst of the year is the Tyrese Halliburton postseason because right now it is like one of the most tragic movies ever made. It could be only the second act of an incredible hero's journey movie. But right now, if this is where the movie ends, it is one of the most tragic stories because of everything I just said. And then, boom, pop an Achilles injury inside of game 7 in the playoffs. You were already battling injuries, which is probably why you ended up with
Yeah,
the Achilles injuries because you were already favoring leg
ladies and
issues.
gentlemen, if you have a calf strain, just sit down.
But it's the playoffs, Omari. It's the playoffs. He would have
Kevin
been
Durant.
destroyed. He would have been destroyed if he would have sat.
Kevin Durant had a similar decision to make like 3 years ago. Warriors, Raptors, calf strain. Do we still go out here? Because we need Kevin to win, but we were
Who
risking something about a
who
quarter or so into the
who
game.
is the second person on that team, Omari?
Who's the second person on that team?
Uh-huh.
Oh, Steph Curry.
Who's the second person on the Indiana Pacers?
I don't fucking know. But my
Point
point
proven.
is, yeah. No, no. Halliburton, they don't win without Halliburton, but he got his Achilles, and they ended up not winning without Halliburton anyway. And he's out for like all the season. That's all I'm saying. It's like not only is he out for the season, but you know, knock on wood and all that, he the Achilles is worse than like an ACL or something. Like the Achilles doesn't even like that is a career changer.
Yeah,
Now that's why I'm saying
unless you're
like,
Kobe Bryant.
what are you talking about? He took Kobe post Achilles was downhill. It wasn't trash, but he wasn't ever Kobe
Oh,
again.
oh, okay. We'll have to look at those stats. I feel like some of his largest point, like the 60 point Kobe, uh, more frequently in my memory as a casual fan was post Achilles.
Usually Kobe is the go-to example of that. Now KD has managed to be at least close to what he was post Achilles, but even still, KD's
Because
other
I thought Kobe was the exception to the rule because he was the one who went to Germany and got an experimental surgery and all of that. And a lot of people are like, he was also pumped full of steroids. But we don't talk about that anymore because we're honoring the man's legacy. Um, and he came back in like half the time and was barely acknowledged the fact that he had just had a popped Achilles. And everybody was like, "What the how the hell did he do this?" I thought that that was the story of Kobe. Um,
all right.
gonna go. Let's go into my last biggest moment of the year. I'm gonna go back to the WWE here, and at WWE Evolution 2025, the all women's pay-per-view event. It was main evented by Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, who just have some insane chemistry as a pair, working together and against each other. It is just some incredible matches, starting with their first championship match on Raw at the beginning of the year, then their triple threat at Mania with Bianca Belair, that a lot of people say is the best match of 2025, and then this women's evolution match with Io Sky, which if it would have had a conclusion, would have probably been better than the triple threat in my mind. But instead of having a definitive conclusion, we had the one of the biggest surprises of the year, maybe even larger than the John Cena heel turn for me as I was watching live, because I was so glued into this match. I was laser focused on where's the finish coming. Like where is it? We're getting close. What are they going to do? Is Rhea going to win? Is Io going to win? And then Naomi's new heel music hits, and she runs out with that money in the bank, and it is a gigantic like you couldn't have two more popular female wrestlers in the ring in that moment, and the crowd still explodes because we love a cash in so much, and especially when we love when it's a cash in of a person we like. Even
Yeah.
if she is a heel right now, we all acknowledge that this heel Naomi is so fucking cool and so much cooler than the good guy Naomi that she's been for the last several years. Um, and it it doesn't even mess up the fact that you didn't give me a finish to this incredible match somehow. Like somehow they managed to like. And I mean,
Yeah.
unfortunately, it is quickly followed up with. I mean, unfortunately, it's great. It's great for the family that they are now expecting child. But Naomi had to give up the belt pretty soon after this cash in. Um,
That's
but
what it
man, what an
was. I
incredible
was thinking it
singular
was an
moment.
injury. But yeah, that was a great moment in and of itself, like you said, for all the reasons that you mentioned.
Uh,
Cash-ins generally are good. But to
uh,
your point about people cheering despite she was a heel, that just reminded me of like Seth talking about that being something nowadays where because everybody's so into everybody being a character, it's like, yeah, this person clearly is a heel, but I like him behind the scenes, and I know he's playing a character, so I'm a cheer, even though he's
yeah.
supposed to be getting booed.
I mean, it's been the thing ever since the curtain was drawn back, like when we were kids, early teenagers. Like
Mm-hmm.
like you can be a bad guy and get booed, but if you do that, now that we know, we full 360 scope know that this is a character, just like David Tennant is playing Doctor Who on TV. Seth Rollins is playing the architect. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and if you play that character so well, we support you like it just, and eventually we end up cheering for you. Right now they're kind of riddled with them in Dominic Mysterio and Chelsea Green and MJF over in AEW. It's kind of hard for these people to be bad guys because we like them so much as bad guys. It's weird. It's a weird thing that happens in wrestling.
Yeah.
Did we
But
leave anything off? I think we maybe hit everything.
I think we hit everything because a lot of your best I also agree with, like the World Series. That's probably the top moment thing of the year for
I
me
mean,
was
man,
that game seven.
insane. Just an absolutely insane game to watch. And the epitome of the sport. Like the perfect encapsulation of this is why you can like baseball kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, All right. Well, this was a little bit of an oversized one, but last of the year, so we had to get it in. We thank you for watching all year long here on You Don't Watch Sports, just so we can sprinkle that little bit of sports information into your casual conversation. We also chat about other things over on this channel on Tuesdays,
We
Wednesdays,
have
whenever it comes
the
out.
videos weekly,
It's called This Guy Hasn't Seen, where we share movies back and forth. We are currently in our holiday mode right now. We got a watch along with The Christmas Tree, 1991, coming out next week. So stay tuned for that. Omari, where else can they find you on the internet?
Well, you guys can also find me on Twitter and Twitch at Giotavi. That's Giotavi. Come on, man. Stop on by. Been streaming day 240. That's crazy.
That's right. If you wanna fight a master, come see him. Come see him.
We did hit Master in Street Fighter 6,
Your boy's
so that was
master.
cool.
Come see him.
Woo! Did it on
He's out in
Mother's
these
Day.
Street Fighter streets. Come
Out
find
there.
him.
Now I've been waiting. Adios.